What is going on, guys, and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to be breaking down why Phantom Assassin has a 49.80% win rate. Honestly, a very underrated hero. I won't say she's broken. I think she is pretty balanced as she sits right now in the current patch, but you guys definitely let me know in the comments what you guys think about Phantom Assassin. Right now, I think her laning is actually a lot better, but I feel like there's a lot of lanes that can just steamroll her and make her game a living hell. Right now, the current meta is mostly about clumping up after certain timings. So once a team hits their crucial timings, they just want to group up, and some teams just want to group up from 10 minutes and non-stop 5-man death balling, and that can become a really big problem for the Phantom Assassin because she's not a very good team fighter. She likes to go for pickoffs and be able to give her team the advantage in that way, but not really be able to go up against 5 heroes, especially before BKB. Your item timings, once you guys have Battle Fury, you can go for a fight here and there if it is beneficial for you, if there is squishy supports for you guys to take care of. If there isn't, then just stay farming. It is the best course of action. Don't join a team fight that's just going to set you more behind, unless you can just come in, throw a couple daggers, and maybe get a free pick off. Then yeah, for sure, join it. You can easily get extra farm out of that. But when you see a very tough team fight, don't just join it for the sake of your team telling you to join, because most of the time the better play is going to be using your Battle Fury to get more farm, because there will come a time where Phantom Assassin, especially in the late game, will become one of the strongest carries in the game. She is still no joke. Those crits are absolutely insane. The facet you guys are going to be playing with is the methodical facet, which means the coup de grace procs every 6 attacks on the same hero and 4 on creeps. So it not only helps you farm a lot faster, it also helps you take care of heroes that you're planning to commit on. That also means building attack speed on Phantom Assassin feels a lot better nowadays, because typically it's always been good to build up attack speed on the PA. That feels a lot better because if you stick onto a target, you're going to be able to get 6 attacks much better, and those crits are going to be really nice. So for you to take care of a support or a low armor hero, you're going to be able to deal with them much faster. So item builds that have extra attack speed are going to be more beneficial with this facet, and it's a lot more consistent on the crits, which is nice, because it felt like before with the RNG, sometimes you'd get these god PA games where you just get crit after crit after crit, and sometimes you would throw 1,000 daggers and not get a single crit. I like this because it's more consistency. I'm a very big fan of this facet, and it helps you keep track of who you can stay onto, and you can kind of see how many attacks more you have until a crit, so you can kind of decide whether you have the time to go for that target and continue to right click, or to actually blink away and back out, which I think is very important, because sometimes you would just pray for the RNG and way overcommit and end up losing a lot of situations that you could have. The one key thing that I would like Dota to change about this, the way the procs work, it looks like Monkey King Jingu, which is the exact same icon, and that is kind of annoying. Like, it should have its own, maybe like a different icon. There's some skulls coming out or something, like showing the crit, but not the Monkey King Jingu icon. Like, that's just very annoying to see. It feels like there's a Monkey King in the game. That's just me being very picky. Her innate ability is immaterial, which increases PA's evasion per level. You start at 20% and then you gain 1.5% per level, which is really nice. So now basically you're only using blur, kind of like farming ancients if you are really squishy, and just maybe getting yourself into a better position, but you don't need to scale it for the evasion. You're already getting that from your innate ability. So you're basically going to be maxing dagger and blink strike. That's going to be your build. Maybe the odd point in blur, so you're able to just stay away from the map and be able to clear up creep waves without showing on the map. 1 value point is more than enough on this ability. Now let's break down the build. The build for PA right now, that's pretty much one of the standard ones, one of the better ones, is the Trends Battle Fury Desolator into BKB, which is very standard. It's always been like that. Then Basher Satanic, but there is some deviations you guys can do. You guys can go for the Manta, and you guys can go for the Nullifier as well if need be. Very important. You can also get the Shard ahead of time against heroes like Timber Saw and heroes with very annoying passive abilities, heroes like Bristleback. You're going to be able to get that Shard a little bit earlier, so prioritize taking Tormentors, but you're most likely not going to get it from Tormentor. I would consider buying it yourself. It's just really good, especially against all these tanky heroes like Centaur. All heroes that have a really strong passive ability, that break is going to be very important, and it's very cheap, and it does quite a bit of damage even on heroes that you're not breaking. It is percent based damage, which is really good for the Phantom Assassin to be able to take care of some targets. Now I'm going to be giving you guys some tips on how to play the Phantom Assassin a lot more efficiently. You guys should not be playing against lineups with a lot of crowd control, a lot of CC. That can become very problematic for you, because you're going to be practically useless until you have Battle Fury, BKB, and maybe a third item. A lot of games you don't have the time and the space to actually go for that. Maybe your mid laner is not doing so hot, maybe your off lane got crushed, and you're not going to be able to go for these greedy timings of having 3-4 items before you're ready to go. So please consider your item builds, and if you are going to be picking it against a lineup that has a lot of stuns, a lot of crowd control, then make sure after the Battle Fury you're getting a BKB. Forget about the Desolator, get that after. You need a BKB. You can definitely win team fights off the back of the crits alone, and Battle Fury does give you a little bit of damage, and BKB is just going to be the all-in tool. It's going to help you get in there, get the job done, and not be able to get obliterated, because a lot of times if PA gets stunned, she will most likely die. Even when you're big and you have items like Satanic and such, if you're not able to get that BKB off, you're going to have a lot of problems, especially against BKB piercing stuns. PA does not like to go up against these lineups. She likes to be free around the map, kind of like a Slark, where you're able to get in, burst the target, and then get out. That's kind of the style you want to play on PA. You want to be able to pick and choose your fights. You don't want to just sit there and fight against 5 heroes. No, you want to blink in, get a target down, get the kill, and then reset, back up, and find another target that you want to go on and do it like that. You don't want to overcommit on a full-blown team fight and go up against 5 heroes, because you will get obliterated. Now let's break down some of the best and worst matchups for PA. Some of the best matchups are Lone Druid, Anti-Mage, Enchantress, Phantom Lancer. You get up against these heroes because you're able to do so much damage so quickly. Heroes like Lone Druid have a lot of armor, but you're able to break them with your shard, and you're also able to do just way too much physical damage for the Lone Druid to be able to handle. Heroes like Anti-Mage are very low HP heroes, and you don't really care a whole lot about mana burn. You could always get a stick or items that give you a lot more mana to play with, items like Scotty. So the matchup is just very simple for you. It's not very hard. Enchantress, once you have your shard, she basically becomes useless. You can easily deal with her. And Phantom Lancer, with your Battle Fury build, you're able to deal with his illusions so much more easier, because you just do so much overall burst damage, which is really nice. And you can also double up and get a Gleipnir in the late game. Once the Phantom Lancer becomes just way too strong for you to start handling with just the Battle Fury, you can always pick up a Gleipnir so you can do even more damage. Some of the bad matchups are Axe, Timbersaw, Morphling, Tiny. These are very difficult matchups for you to deal with, because the Tiny does a lot of burst damage, especially in the early to mid game. He's able to take care of you quite easily. Doesn't care a whole lot about your evasion, because he's not going to be right clicking you as much. He's going to depend on his Avalanche Toss combo. That's going to be his main way to get rid of you. Timbersaw just does a lot of damage. Once you have your shard, you're able to kind of take care of him, but you need to be careful. Good Timbersaw players know how to kick PA out of lane very easily. So that is the type of lane you don't want to get treads. You want to get yourself a Battle Fury as quickly as possible so you can escape, you can get out of that lane, because it's going to be absolutely miserable for you. So it's a very difficult lane. Morphling is also very good, because Morphling could just turn into you and just do a lot more work, and it becomes very difficult for the PA to actually cut down all that HP from Morphling. But Morphling is not a good carry right now, so I think the matchup is a little bit better for the PA, and she can definitely take care of him much better than he used to be before. I just think Morphling is a pretty bad hero right now in the current meta. And Axe, with his Call and Blade Mail, can just do way too much to you. And in the late game, Axe has so much armor that even your Desolator is not going to do a whole lot. So if you're facing up against a good Axe player, be on the lookout, because you're going to get wrecked most of the time. And even with your break, you're not able to do a whole lot to the Axe if he has a lot of Culling Blade stacks and a ton of armor. So definitely keep that in mind. These matchups are very difficult for you to deal with, but not impossible. PA in the late game is still a very strong hero. Now once you guys get a Divine Rapier, if you do end up getting it, it's absolutely insane. Assuming you don't feed the Divine Rapier, you're going to be one-shotting most targets, or at least taking care of them very quickly without them being able to do a whole lot. And if they start getting items like Ghost Scepter, you can always get a Nullifier and deal with that. Very important item to have on PA in the late game, because a lot of people obviously want to get the Ghost Scepter, or they want to get a Yule Scepter to try and disengage. You're going to be able to deal with them with that Nullifier. Hopefully you guys did enjoy today's video. If you guys did, leave a like and subscribe and joining the Dota Chronicles community. I appreciate all the supports you guys have been giving on my latest videos. I truly do appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.